Hello students, in the last class we have completed the complete study of unit 1 for your chemistry, so which consists of all the basic concepts of chemistry as well as some of the important definitions also we have seen, and some of the units and dimensional analysis, that is conversion of one unit into another unit also we have seen, and some of the problems which are very simple which can be asked for the 3 marks or 5 marks, that is calculation of molecular formula as well as empirical formula also we have seen. That is completely basic study of chemistry as well as historical developments, how the different terms as well as definitions have derived from different scientists based on their views or based on our own ideas, their own ideas have been studied in the last class. But in this unit, that is the second chapter, which is known as structure of atom, here we'll completely study about the complete focus is only about the atoms as well as subatomic particles like electrons, protons and neutrons, and how they are derived and what is the major differences between electrons, protons as well as neutrons, and some of the important experiment as well as how the apparatuses are modified for the explanation of these concepts and different physical properties of those subatomic particles can also be seen in this chapter. And the overall study is only about the atom. Generally it is termed as a structure of atom. That is the unit 2 for your syllabus, that is known as structure of atom. So basically the word atom has been derived from the Greek word, right? So it is generally taken from the Greek word, so which is known as atomio, right? Atomio means uncuttable or undivisible, or it is cannot be breakable into further pieces, so that is known as a non-divisible, or it is also referred as the uncuttable, right? So the atomic theory of matter was first proposed by the scientist called John Dalton, right? So John Dalton is the name of scientist who proposed or who gave the first theory, that is generally called as atomic theory for the matters. So for the different kinds of matter, the matter consists of the smallest particle, that is the tiny particle called as atoms, and this atomic theory was generally given by the scientist called as John Dalton, and it is named after his the theory is named after him, which is known as Dalton's atomic theory, right? So if you consider any of the atom, so atom consists of generally three subparticles. One is protons, neutrons and electrons. So you can remember very easily, that is this pen, right? So pen means, so here the subatomic particles or subatomic particles, or the atom consists of smallest particles, that is a proton, right? So that is electron and neutron, right? So always remember, so there are three subatomic particles, you can remember it as a pen. Pen means, so proton, electron and neutron, these are the three important subatomic particles, or the atom consists of subparticles which are known as proton, electron and neutron, right? So let's see what is the major differences and who discovered this electron, proton and neutron, or what is the nature of charges also. So here I have made 4 columns for the clear understanding of subatomic particles. So in the first column I have written all the particles, in the second column I have written the electrons, protons, and in the third column it is proton, and fourth column it is about the neutrons. So first if you see the discovery, so the electrons are discovered by the scientist called J.J. Thomson in the year of 1869, and similarly proton is discovered by the Goldstein, that is 1886, and neutron is generally, so that is discovered by the scientist called as Chadwick, so at the year of 1932. Always remember, it can be asked for 1 marks. So who derived or who discovered electron, who discovered proton, or who discovered neutron? So generally, so discovery of electron was done by the scientist called J.J. Thomson, and proton was discovered by the Goldstein, and neutron was discovered by the Chadwick. And if you see the nature of charge, electrons are generally negatively charged, right? So, and protons are positive charge, we know that one, and neutrons are neutral, there is no any charge on the neutrons. So always remember, electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, and neutrons are, these are generally neutral, right? And here if you observe, in case of electron, the amount of charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, right? So this is the negative charge, 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. But in proton what happens, it is a positive value, right? So electron is a negatively charged, right? That is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, and similarly in case of proton it is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, but the neutrons does not have any charge, that charge is 0. But whenever you go for the mass, so here if you observe, the mass of electron is 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg, but the proton as well as neutron are having same mass, the weight is same. The proton is having 1.6724 into 10 raised to 27, that is minus 27 kg, and neutron is having the weight or a mass of 1.674, that is similar to that of the proton, into 10 raised to minus 27 kg, right? So these are the major differences between the subatomic particles of the atom, that is electron, proton and neutron. So electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson, proton was discovered by the Goldstine, and the neutron was discovered by Chadwick. And generally you have to remember, electron is a negatively charged particle, proton is positively charged, and neutrons are neutral in nature, right? So further if you go, there is one important experiment for your syllabus, that is cathode ray discharge experiment, right? So here we will study about the cathode ray discharge experiment. First we'll go through the apparatus, how the apparatus is arranged. So this is completely a glass tube, right? So this cathode ray discharge tube, we'll call it as discharge tube, and in one side it is cathode. There are two electrodes, one is cathode, another side it is another electrode which is known as anode. One side it is cathode, another side it is anode, and one side of the this discharge tube is coated with a fluorescent coating, right? So if you observe here, I have marked with the red mark here, so which means here, so there is a fluorescent coating, and there is one vent they have kept for vacuum, for the connection of the vacuum, right? So for the connection of vacuum, so and both side it is connected with cathode and anode, and one side of this discharge tube so is coated, right? So that is the lining of fluorescent coating has done, and it is connected to both electrodes, like cathode and anode are connected to the high voltage batteries. So whenever you connect like this, and if you start the experiment, we can see some of the observations or result during the experiment. In that, first important is cathode rays consist of negatively charged electrons, right? So whenever there is a high voltage of current is passed through the circuit, so there will be a liberation of rays, right? So those are generally called as cathode rays, right? So therefore remember, the cathode rays are negatively charged, which consist of negatively charged electrons. These cathode rays are generally consist of negatively charged electrons, and cathode rays do not observe on the behavior. They are not observed on behavior is observed only, right? So only the behavior is observed, right? So we cannot see directly the cathode rays, but the behavior of the cathode rays can be observed in the experiment, right? The most important thing is cathode rays consist of negatively charged electrons. These are consist of negatively charged electrons. And similarly, in absence of electrical or magnetic field, in the absence of the external electrical or magnetic field, the cathode rays travel in the straight line. If you observe this cathode rays, they can travel in a straight line in absence of, that is very important, right? So that is the main important observation in case of experiment. So whenever there is no any kind of external electrical field or external magnetic field, what happens, these cathode rays which are formed during the experiment, so they will travel in a straight line, which means there is no any hurdle, right? So there is no any obstacle during the absence of electrical as well as magnetic field, right? So that is the experiment of cathode discharge experiment, which proves that cathode rays generally consist of a negatively charged electron. The another important thing or the observation you have to see during the experiment is the characteristics of cathode rays do not depends on the material of the electrode, right? So whatever might be the material of the electrode, so it does not depends on the material of the electrode and the nature of gas present in the cathode ray tube, right? So in that tube, that glass tube, right? So that is a chamber, so that is glass chamber, or you can call it as discharge chamber. So in that, if you take any kind of gas molecules, so it doesn't dependent on the cathode. The cathode rays are not dependent on whatever the gas you take inside the tube or whatever the electrode material, the material or the electrode which are made up of different kind of material also. So it doesn't dependent on any either the gaseous molecules which are present in the discharge tube, or either the material, the electrodes which are made up of different kinds of materials also, right? So that is all about the discovery of electrons. So generally electrons are discovered with the help of the cathode rays during the experiment, that is known as cathode ray tube experiment, which can be asked for 2 marks for your annual examination, right? And the next important thing is the discovery of proton and neutrons, right? So further, if you see the discovery of proton and neutrons, so the modified cathode ray tube, the same experiment, if you increase or if you improvise that instrument, you will call it as modifications, right? So those modification in the cathode rays experiment tube so led to the discovery of proton, right? So which means the characteristics are the positively charged particle depends upon the nature of the gas. If you change the nature of gas, so here that depends upon the nature of gas. The positively charged particles are dependent upon the nature of gas, but the electrons are not dependent on the nature of gas. Either it is not dependent on the type of the material which is used for the electrode, right? So, and the next important thing is some positively charged particles carry multiple fundamental electrical charge, right? So some of the particles, so which are positively charged, they carry the multiple of a fundamental electrical charges, and the behavior of positively charged particle in the electrical and magnetic field is opposite to that of the cathode rays. Therefore we will call it as the electrons are opposite to protons. So electrons are having negatively charged and protons are having the positive charge. The main reason for this, so therefore here what happens during the experiment in the improvised or modified cathode ray tube, if you observe the behavior of this positively charged particle, that is nothing but protons, so these have exactly opposite behavior that can be observed in the cathode rays, or that can be observed in case of electron. So therefore we'll call it as so electrons are opposite to that of the protons, right? So that led to the discovery of proton as well as neutron also, right? And the one important experiment that is known as Thomson model of atom. Further, if you study the different models of atom, the first important thing is Thomson model of atom. This can be asked for 2 marks in your annual examination, right? So Thomson is the name of scientist who gave the first model of the atom, right? So he proposed that, so he stated that atom consists of a uniformly charged, that is positively charged sphere, and electron is embedded in it, right? So the positive particles are present along the circular, so that is circumference of the circle, so that is uniform positively charged sphere. These are in the form of sphere, and inside there will be an electrons, right? So here if you observe the diagrammatic representation of Thomson model, so I have drawn a circle and inside there are small designs which are dotted. So dots it acts as electrons, and here outer surface, there is an arrangement of positive charge, right? So this sphere shows there is a continuous positive charge here like this, right? So there is a continuous positive charge. It looks like a continuous positive charge at the circumference of the circle or the sphere, but inside there is all electrons are present inside that sphere. That was explained by the Thomson, and this model is generally called as Thomson model of atom, right? So if they ask for 2 marks, so just write the definition and the diagrammatic representation and show. So in that sphere, all the components which are present inside the sphere are generally termed as electrons, and in the circumference of the circle there is a circular arrangement of positively charged protons. And this model is also known as a plum pudding model, or it is also known as a resin pudding model, or it is also known as a watermelon model, right? So they may ask for 2 marks, explain the watermelon model of Thomson, right? So or explain the plum pudding or resin pudding model of atom which was given by the Thomson. Any kind of questions may be asked. This can be asked for 2 marks. So if they ask Thomson model of atom, there is a first important model for the atom. So according to him, he says that so all the positively charged particles are present on the circumference of the sphere, so that is a sphere in the form of a circular sphere, and electrons are embedded, which means they are fixed into that sphere, right? So whatever the circular shape is there inside, so there will be an arrangement of the electron. Therefore this looks like a watermelon. If you take a watermelon, so if you cut that, so in a circular shape, it looks like outer covering is green color, and inside there is the red color in which there are small seeds which are in the black color. So the seeds looks like an electron, and outer covering, right? So that is green color covering. So that looks like an arrangement of positive sphere. Therefore it is known as a plum pudding model also. So it is known as a resin pudding model also, or it can be defined as a watermelon model for this arrangement or Thomson model of atom. Okay, further if you go for the next important experiment, that is Rutherford's nuclear model of atom, right? So the next scientist, who is known as Rutherford, has explained the another model for the atom. Thomson gave his own model, that is known as watermelon model or resin pudding model, or it is also known as plum pudding model. The another scientist whose name is called as Rutherford, one gave an experiment for the nuclear model of the atom, right? So he has given the nuclear model for the atom. So here if you observe the arrangement of the apparatus, so the first one is source of alpha particle. So any source of alpha particle he has taken, and in between there is a lead plate, right? So and there is one photographic plate, so which is present nearby this lead plate, right? So whenever the alpha rays or the alpha particle strikes on the surface of the lead plate, right? And between this photographic plate, they have kept the thin gold foil. There is a metal foil which is known as a gold foil generally. So this gold foil has capacity to scatter the alpha radiations from one, right? So which means it can deviate, not exactly the scattering, so it can deviate the incoming radiations, the source of this alpha particle when it hits on the surface of the lead plate. So and further this strikes on the surface of gold foil. So what happens, there will be different deviations of these radiations or the source of alpha particles on the photographic plate, right? So this is generally called as a photographic plate, right? So if you observe the model, so this model is explains that atom consists of nucleus which is concentrated at the center. So according to Thomson model, what he says, according to Rutherford model, what he says, so the atoms are consist of the nucleus which is present at the center, and it is very small. The nucleus is present at the center and it is very small, and the nucleus consists of protons and neutrons, and electrons revolve around the nucleus in a fixed orbit, which means according to him, he says that so there is a nucleus in an atom at the center and it consists of protons and neutrons. So this nucleus consists of protons as well as neutrons, and similarly the electrons are revolve around the nucleus, right? So this structure or this arrangement was given with the help of nuclear model of atom, which was given by the scientist called Rutherford, right? So Rutherford explains that, so with the help of his experiment, so the Rutherford, according to Rutherford, so whenever the alpha particle strikes on this gold foil, so they can deflect, right? So they can change the angle of this incoming radiations which are been, so here you can observe on the photographic plate, right? So this atomic model was explained by Rutherford, so therefore it is known as Rutherford's nuclear model of atom. In this what happens, so according to him, the nucleus is present at the center in presence of atom, and it is consist of protons and neutrons. Generally it consists of protons and neutrons, and the negatively charged particles, which are generally called as electrons, they revolve around the nucleus in a fixed orbit, in a fixed circular path. We'll call it as orbits. So and electrons and nucleus were held together by the electrostatic force, and he also says that so these electrons and nucleus are held together by the some kind of force which is known as electrostatic force. This electrostatic force is present in between the electrons as well as nucleus, because nucleus is positive charge. It consists of protons and neutrons. So protons are already the positive charge and neutrons doesn't have any kind of charge. Those are neutrals. So therefore the overall charge in nucleus will be positive. And as we seen, according to nuclear model of atom given by the Rutherford, the electrons revolve around the circular orbit. There will be a greater electrostatic force of attraction. So this electrostatic force of attraction so keeps this molecule or the atom stable, which means electron revolve around the nucleus. So therefore the atom has certain kind of a stability that has been explained with the help of Rutherford nuclear model of atom, right? So we have seen two experiment. So they can ask even this for 2 marks also, right? So explain Rutherford nuclear model of atom, or also they can use explain Thomson model of atom, that is generally called as plum pudding model, resin pudding model, or it is also known as watermelon model also. Right, so these are the experiments which has explained the discovery of protons, discovery of neutrons, the discovery of the electrons also, and further we have got the idea about the overall arrangement of electrons, protons, and similarly nucleus, or the particular structure or the model of atom which was given by Thomson also, and which was given by Rutherford also. The further important definitions, some of the important definitions from this chapter we'll study. So those are atomic number and mass number. What is the difference between the atomic number as well as mass number? Generally we know that atomic number is written in the short form or alphabetical. So that is capital Z is used for the representation of atomic number, and the mass number is represented by capital A. Remember, so atomic number is generally given by the alphabet, that is Z, and the mass number is given by A. Atomic number means the total number of protons, right? So the total number of protons which are present in the nucleus are generally called as atomic number. If you take any element or any atom, so in that atomic number is given by the total number of protons. how many protons are present in that nucleus of that atom is generally called as atomic number. But the mass number is defined as the total number of protons plus total number of neutrons. If you add both protons as well as neutrons, so the combined form of protons and neutrons are generally called as mass number. Therefore, total number of protons plus total number of neutrons is called as mass number. And the next important thing is isotopes. Isotopes means the atoms of the same element having same atomic number, right? So same atomic number but different mass number. Remember, whenever the atomic number is same but the mass number is different, that is generally called as isotopes, right? So isotopes are the elements which are having the same atomic number but a different mass number. If you take hydrogen, hydrogen generally has three isotopes. One is protium, deuterium and tritium, which means hydrogen here, if you observe, it is 1, atomic number is also 1, mass number is also 1. But if you observe the second one, hydrogen, which is having the mass number is 2 and atomic number is 1, which is known as deuterium. It is also called as deuterium. And the third isotopes of hydrogen, that is the hydrogen, which consists of molecular number is 3, that is mass number is 3 and atomic number is 1. This is known as tritium. Therefore, one element can be present in different forms. These are generally called as isotopes. Isotopes are the elements which are having the same atomic number. Understand, they can be asked for 1 marks for your annual examination. What is isotopes? What are isotopes? Define isotopes like this, right? So the atoms of the same element having the same atomic number but different mass number are generally called as isotopes, right? So here if you observe, hydrogen has 3 different isotopes. One is protium, deuterium and tritium. Similarly, carbon also has 2 isotopes. One is carbon 12, carbon 13. Similarly, oxygen has 3 isotopes, oxygen 16, 17 and 18. Like that, different elements in the periodic table have the ability to undergo the isotopic nature, which means atomic number is same but the mass number is different, which means the number of protons remains same, but whenever you observe the number of protons and neutrons, right, so there will be a change in the number of neutrons. So therefore, these are called as isotopes. So the next important definition is isobars. So isobars are the atoms of different elements having same mass number but different atomic number. That is reverse. Whenever the atomic number is same, mass number is different, it is called as isotope. But the two different elements, right? So the atoms of different element, here we are observing the atoms of different element. But in case of isotopes, we are talking about the same element, right? So therefore, isobars are the atoms of different elements having same mass number. Here the mass number is same but the atomic number is different. If you observe argon, right, so atomic number is 18, mass number is 40. Similarly, calcium is also having 40 as a mass number but the atomic number is changed. So therefore, whenever the atoms of the same element having same atomic number but different mass number are called as isotopes, and isobars are the atoms of different elements having the same mass number but different atomic number, right? So if you observe argon and calcium, argon, the atomic mass or the mass number is 40, and similarly calcium is also having the mass number of 40, but there is a change in atomic number. Argon is having the atomic number of 18 but the calcium is having the atomic number of 20, right? Right, so those were some of the important definitions which can be asked for your annual examination for 1 marks. And today in this unit, which means in today's classes, we have covered some of the important experiment. Once again, we'll see whatever we have learned today, and we'll close here and we'll continue in the next class, right? So in the second unit, so the important things is given to the only for the structure of atom. So therefore, how the discovery of subatomic particles and different types of subatomic particles and their characteristics features also we have given here. And similarly, along with that, the different experiment which helps to explain or give the overall idea about the structure of atoms also given in this chapter, right? So as we said, the atomio is the word, so which is derived from the Greek word, so which means uncuttable, or it is known as non-divisible. And the first atomic theory was given by the scientist called John Dalton, and generally it is termed as Dalton's atomic theory. And generally it consists of 3 subatomic particles. You can remember it as like a pen. Pen means proton, electron and neutron, and we have seen the greater differences between electrons, protons as well as neutrons. And electrons are derived from the Z.J. Thomson, that is a scientist, and protons were derived by Goldstein, and neutrons were derived by the scientist called Chadwick, right? So remember, negative charges for the electrons, positive charge for the protons, and neutrons are generally neutral in nature. And we have seen one important experiment for the discovery of electron, that is known as cathode ray discharge experiment. As I said, it consists of a small glass tube which is coated in one side, and either sides it is connected with the electrodes like cathode and anode, and both cathode and anode are connected with the battery. Whenever there is an application of external electric current, the cathode rays consist of negatively charged electron. That is the observation, and these observation only the rays cannot be observed, but their behavior can be observed during the experiment. And in the absence of external electrical and magnetic field, cathode rays generally travels in a straight. And also we have seen the characteristics of cathode rays does not dependent on the material or of the electrode or the nature of gas. In that glass tube, whatever the kind of the gaseous molecule you take, or whatever the type of material which is kept for the cathode, right? So that is does not depends for the cathode rays. But whenever during the discovery of protons and neutrons, so here, so the same experiment is slightly modified, the apparatus is slightly modified for the discovery of protons and neutrons, right? So the characteristic features for the protons, if you see, so protons are positively charged and they are highly dependent on the gas which is present in the cathode ray discharge tube. And some positively charged particles carry the multiple fundamental electrical charges, and the behavior of these protons is continuously or completely or exactly opposite to that of the cathode rays, or exactly opposite to that of the electrons, because electrons are negatively charged. And also we have seen one of the important experiment which can be asked for 2 marks, which is known as Thomson model of atom, right? Which is known as Thomson model of atom. So according to him, he said that so the atom has a certain kind of model, so in which the positively charged protons are present in an circular sphere, and the electrons are generally embedded, which means fixed into that circular, right? So if they ask for 2 marks, you have to write the definition or whatever the explanation he has said for the model of atom, as well as this diagrammatic representation is very important. So draw the circular shape, and outer this covering consists of positively charged particles and electrons are embedded into that, right? So here if you observe, so it is continuous arrangement of electrons, and in the outer surface, so there is a continuous arrangement of protons. And this model is also known as plum pudding model. There is another name which is known as resin pudding model, or it is also known as watermelon model. And the next important experiment whatever we have seen in this class is Rutherford nuclear model of atom. So it is very simple. Even if they ask for 2 marks, even sometimes they ask for 3 marks also. So Rutherford experiment is very simple. So first one, we have taken the source of alpha particle. So in between this photographic plate and source of alpha particle, there is a lead plate, and inside that photographic plate, they have kept the thin gold foil. Whenever this alpha radiation strikes on this gold foil, so it deviates or it changes the angle of the incoming radiations. And this model mainly helps to explain that the atom consists of a nucleus which consists of protons and neutrons at the center, and the electrons are rotated, or they can rotate in case of circular orbit. In case of fixed orbit, which are in circular in nature, those are electrons, and there will be a greater force of attractive force between this positive charge, that is nucleus, and the negative charge electrons. So that is known as electrostatic force. The force that is present in between the nucleus as well as electrons is generally called as electrostatic force of attraction. And also we have seen 2 to 3 important definition: atomic number and mass number, isotopes and isobars, right? So atomic number is generally represented as Z. Remember, the total number of protons present in the nucleus of atom is generally called as atomic number. Mass number means, so it is generally represented as A, which means the total number of protons as well as the neutrons which are present is generally called as mass number. These protons and neutrons are generally called as the nucleons. Remember that also. The nucleons means the addition of both protons as well as neutrons, because they are present in the nucleus. These are called as nucleons also, right? And one more important definition is isotopes. Remember, they can be asked for 1 mark. The atoms of same element. Here the word same element is very important, right? So the isotopes are the atoms of same element having same atomic number but different mass number, right? So they have given the example, that is hydrogen can be present in 3 different forms. Hydrogen, that is protium, deuterium and tritium. Hydrogen 1,1, hydrogen 1,2, hydrogen 1,3. Right? And similarly, carbon also present in 2 different forms or 2 different isotopes, that is carbon 12, carbon 13. You can write oxygen. For oxygen also, it can be present in the form of oxygen 16, oxygen 17 and oxygen 18, right? So these are the isotopes of oxygen. And isobar, generally isobars is the atoms of different elements having the same mass number but different atomic number. Here the different element is very important, right? So in isotopes we are talking about the same element, but in isobars we are talking about the different element. They have given 2 examples: argon atomic number is 18, but mass number is same, that is 40. If you compare with calcium, the atomic number is 20, but the mass number is 40. Therefore, whenever the elements are having same mass number but different atomic number are generally termed as isobars. Right? So that's all we have studied in today's class. We'll continue with the next class. Thank you.